Now, an Emeritus Newsbrief, I'm in Houston. President Obama says that GM and Chrysler did not do enough to qualify for more federal bailout money. But he repeated his pledge to do everything he could to make sure they succeed. Obama explained that GM chairman and CEO Rick Wagner had resigned, that he was giving GM another 60 days and government planning assistance, and then giving Chrysler another 30 days as it tries to finalize an alliance announced today with Fiat in order to qualify it for additional aid. He pointed out that some of the cars made by American workers right now are outperforming the best cars made abroad. In 2008, Obama says the North American Car of the Year was made by GM. This year, he says Buick tied for first place as most reliable car in the world. Obama also said restructuring of both companies may mean bankruptcy to help them restructure quickly and emerge stronger. But the government-backed bankruptcy would not be a liquidation or closing of the companies. He also says the company's warranties will be government-backed in order to assure car buyers that the government would accelerate ordering more fuel-efficient fleet replacements to boost auto production, that the IRS would launch a campaign to alert consumers of a new tax benefit for auto purchases made between February 16th and the end of the year, in which customers may be able to deduct the cost of any sales and excise taxes. And he called on Congress to allow owners of older, less fuel-efficient cars to get a tax credit for trading it in for a more fuel-efficient model. He named Ed Montgomery, former Deputy Labor Secretary, as director of a special White House office to aid communities hurt by the crisis in the auto industry.
I can't promise you there isn't more difficulty to come. But what I can promise you is this: I will fight for you. You're the reason I'm here today. I got my start fighting for working families in the shadows of a shuttered steel plant. I wake up every single day asking myself, what can I do to give you and working people all across this country a fair shot at the American dream? When a community is struck by a natural disaster, the nation responds to put it back on its feet. While the storm that has hit our auto towns is not a tornado or a hurricane, the damage is clear, and we must likewise respond.
Wall Street took a dive after the auto-related announcements. The Dow was down 254.16 to finish at 7522.02. The Nasdaq lost 43.40 to close at 1501.80. GM shares dropped 25%. Major doubts about the Pension Benefit Guaranty Corporation, that's the agency that backs private corporation pension plans, if they go insolvent. Now there are concerns the PBGC may have lost more money on the stock market last year than it's admitting. The story on Emeritus News Financial Pensions page. A survey by the Census Bureau finds state collections of taxes were up last year, but it also found that taxpayers are footing more of the bill, with corporations paying a lower percentage. That story on the Emeritus News National World page. The U.S. Department of Health and Human Services handed out $1 billion today to help collect support payments from deadbeat parents. And the HHS also making available $338 million to pay for uninsured patients at community health centers. And facing more pressure to better supervise Medicare, the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services announced new rules to simplify and cut the number of private Medicare Advantage plans and prescription drug programs. The action was taken after patients' complaints about high copays and exclusions they didn't know about. More on the Emeritus News Healthcare page. Another study out about heart stents, this one from Duke University researchers saying stents covered with medication offered better results than those that didn't. More on that story on the Emeritus News Healthcare page. The latest on the biggest issues in public policy only at emeritusnews.com. That's an Emeritus News Brief. I'm Lynn Houston.